talk to you today about the 3 biggest mistakes we make in sales. After spending 27 years in sales and then 7 years as a sales trainer, there are so many lessons I could talk about today, but to keep this to a really quick, short video, I'm going to narrow it down to the 3 biggest mistakes I know I've made and mistakes I've seen other people make. The first mistake might sound really simple, and that is this: we talk too much. When I think about giving a sales presentation or meeting with a prospect or customer one-on-one, it should always be a two-way dialogue. Now, towards the end of my sales career, I remember I really practiced this skill. I practiced treating my sales appointments like it was an interview. I would have my questions prepared in advance. I would have everything I was going to cover on that appointment covered in advance. As a matter of fact, for really big meetings with executives or key decision makers, I might even put together an agenda so that the person knew where we were going to go during the meeting. But what can often happen instead is we get nervous or we're not prepared. And then what happens? We start talking. We show up and we throw up, as we say. So what I invite you to do instead is, even if you need to write a note on your notebook when you're going into that meeting, be quiet, listen, whatever it's going to take. Remember that people buy from whom they like and who they trust. And if you're doing all the talking, your customer might also lose trust in you because they might think you're being pushy or aggressive. The second biggest mistake we make in selling is a lack of activity. Now, I will tell you, I've had some really great years in sales, and I've had some years that were not so great. I remember one year in particular where I was not having a great year. It was to the point where I was stuck. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I remember I hired a sales coach to really help get me back on track. And the first thing that coach told me, well, I actually revealed it to myself when I sent my calendar to him. He noticed I did not have enough activity to meet my sales objective, to meet my quota. So if you're not making your sales quota, or you're not making the sales for, maybe you're an entrepreneur running a business, take a look each day at how much activity you're doing. To this day, I still track all of my activity on a weekly basis. I have my own weekly quota of how many contacts I'm going to make, how many phone calls, texts, follow-ups, and what I'm trying to close on a weekly basis. And if I don't do that, I will not be holding myself accountable, and I probably won't do the activity. But holding myself accountable and setting those goals and putting it on an Excel spreadsheet, something as simple as that, I send that off to someone every week and they take a look at it, so I'm holding myself accountable. I think the third mistake that we make in sales is we forget to do discovery. Doing discovery means you're doing your pre-call planning. You are understanding and finding out everything you can know about the person that you're about to meet with. Are you looking them up on LinkedIn? Are you looking up the organization you're going to call on? Are you finding out what's important? Are you finding out the problems they're having? Are you doing research? And you know what? Information is everywhere. When I was in medical sales, I remember just even walking around a hospital, I could find information about the organization and their objectives they were trying to meet. As a matter of fact, I remember one time I had a really big sale I was working on, and I was having a really hard time finding that burning reason. That's something we call the why now of why the customer should buy. I went into their C-suite and they had their annual report sitting on the table, and guess what? I started flipping through that annual report, and right there I found the key objectives for that organization that they wanted to achieve, which was medication safety, and I knew I could help them achieve those objectives. So in summary, remember that talking less, listening more, also holding yourself accountable to activity, and then last but not least, ensuring that you are doing the right discovery before you present your solution to your customer will help you gain even more credibility, and it will also guarantee more success in closing more sales. Remember, sales is customer service. It is a partnership, and it's not meant to be difficult or pushy.